Hey loves, welcome to 27 Ways to Cook an Egg and talk about life while doing it. This is where recipes meet real talk, straight from my kitchen to yours. Let's crack into it. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 15 of How to Cook an Egg and Talk About Life While Doing It. I'm so excited. Today I have the wonderful Deborah Johnson. Yay! Yay! And we are cooking a French style omelet, which we've actually already made. I'm really excited about this because we're just going to dig in and eat it. But today we are talking about slowing down with intention. And I will tell you, just from my experience with Deborah, I feel like our lives have been lots and lots of movement. And so I would love to know from you, lots of change. And I'd love to know from you as we're going to eat this beautiful French omelet. And you have an amazing, just like, knowledge around the French, around your experience there. We've got some amazing French cheese that we put into this omelet. It's a sheep's cheese. I'll make sure you guys have the recipe and as well as the cheese that I used. But I'd love to just talk to you about your experience in France and what that meant to you to slow down with intention.
So I purchased a house in France, and people always ask me, you're a Francophile, you live in Paris, is that why you chose France? I'm actually in the Southwest, in the Pyrenees region, in Bouc de Berne. And I intentionally chose that particular region because it's known for its intellectualism and independent thinking, and also known for its anti-colonialism. And that was something that really attracted me to the region quite a bit, the independent spirit of the Basque and just the roughness of the Southwest. And as it pertains to food, many foods that you have in the fanciest restaurants in Paris, from wood pigeons to certain mushrooms to duck, to certain hams, and of course sheep cheese are famous for, come from that region. So I particularly like, people always think French food is very heavy.
Yes.
Which I think is interesting because it's actually not. There are a lot of things they don't cook with in France. So sometimes when you eat other food from the region, like Italian or Spanish, it has more peppers or more onions, or things that the French don't really cook with, or they don't cook with a ton of garlic.
Right.
So I really particularly like the clean country food. And when you live in the Southwest, a lot of the food is very clean and very country. Frisée is plentiful in the stores there. The wide variety of fruits and vegetables that are either from the Basque region directly or from Spain, because France gets most of their imported fruits and vegetables from Spain, and I'm about 45 minutes from the Spanish border. Oh my gosh. And then, of course, the seafood, because I am, this last trip, I spent time in Arcachon, where I'm about an hour away, and that's the home of all good things oysters.
Oh my gosh.
And then we also have Saint-Jean-de-Luz, which is famous for its tuna. And then, of course, San Sebastian is the food capital of everything. And so from the wild boar that my neighbor shot and put on the barbecue, I ate it. It was great. I don't even eat pork, but from the wild pork to the wood pigeons to the ducks, the wild game, and the really fresh fish. It is great for clean, simple country cuisine with a little béarnaise sauce on it.
I love it. I mean, what I love about this, even us doing this like particular egg, which I'm gonna take a bite of this, but we get to actually eat. We're gonna eat. But what I love about this and you choosing this, because it was so simple, right? I just did a little butter, the cheese, and that's it. There's nothing, and then you suggested the frisée, which I love.
Frisée is great. This is delicious. It's all about good cheese. The sheep cheese,
It's wonderful.
people sometimes, I think, think the sheep cheese is going to be like goat.
You have a different like goat cheese, but this is like
It's very mild. It's I've become addicted to it. It's mild, and the best thing about it, you get it from France, and it's Pyrenees sheep cheese. This is so it's like a really good probiotic because so the sheep have to graze on the Pyrenees grass. So they take them all the way up to the mountain and they bring them back down, and they get the first spring grass, and it's like nice and yummy. So when you eat it, you can feel it turning around in your tummy.
I love that. Well, that goes into what you're talking about, just this like slowing down and just enjoying the simple things in life. I mean, we're gonna have some champagne. We're gonna have some champagne. So this came from, we're in New York right now. I didn't even mention that. So I'm so grateful. Deborah is my first live person that I got to cook with. And I'm in New York, and I was able to get these beautiful, the cheese and this champagne I got from, have you been to this place? It's Ledoux Wines. Oh, yeah, Ledoux Wines. He actually was like, this goes great even with fried chicken. So he was like, this is a perfect bottle of champagne, the Bruno Pillard. Oh, I mean, yeah. So let's just try this. So
I already tried it.
He's already tried it.
We can do this again. Second time. That's one of the things. The first time I went to France, and I taught in France. I've been going for decades. But first time I went, first trip, every day I tried a different show.
I love that. But that's still like going into that intentional, like slowing down, right? And you're kind of forced to, when you're in that environment and you're at the liberty of these chefs or people that are in this environment that are like, it takes time to make the cheese. You have the goats that go in and they eat the grass, and then they generate this milk to create this beautiful cheese. How would you say that you've kind of slowed down with intention? Well, still, I know you're living your life, you have things around, you have two wonderful kids, a career, but really like the slowing down and taking that step to purchase a place in France and intentionally say, like, this is going to be my place of like solitude. What drove you to that, to make that decision?
Well, I had a number of tough years. And again, I have been to France many times. Right away, I knew that was my happy place. I used to drive up. I taught in Santander, Spain, Toulouse. I'm still a law professor. And I would make that drive around. And the kids would come nuts every time they got to France. I mean, no offense to Spain, but as soon as I got to France, and then I took them to Italy, and they yelled in the car, "Nice, it's nice. Let's go back." So they always really liked it. And what I think they like about it is the slowness. Everything is slow. Yes. They don't. No one stays out late. Right. It's not that kind of a culture, particularly in the Southwest. They tease me because the guy comes to do my floors I've never done before, and he brings me an entire assortment of croissants. And she goes to the patisserie and brings all this stuff to me. And I've never met him before. And I come downstairs. It's an old house. The house was built in the 16th century. And I come down, the old stairs in my pajamas, which I'm still wearing. At 10 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, he looks at me like this is the middle of the day. People go to bed early. They get up early. There's a privacy involved. Being able to be with your friends and enjoy the people you're with. People are not like, maybe somebody else is going to call me. Maybe there's a better offer. And I felt like I needed a little bit more of that in my life. Even I'm sure everybody identifies with this. It was my first time being on my own. I had never been on my own. And I'd been married or somebody's girlfriend from when I was 14 until, like 6-7 years ago. I didn't know what to do. Like Saturday would come around, what would I do? So I realized I could be in this busy world where everybody's trying to attach to something, right? Everybody's trying to find the next best thing. Swipe here, swipe down. I like this guy, don't like that. Everything. I like my job. I don't like my job. Everything is hectic. Right. And I needed to find space in which, nothing mattered. Like I could go out by myself. It's Saturday night, and you know what I do? If I'm by myself, I make the last reservation at a cute restaurant in Biarritz, and every single cute server and chef is sitting at the table. because I'm the last one. They're like, you're the last one. Can I give you another glass of wine? Free stuff. So it's not this validation that you need all the time from the outside.
Right.
Because as you get older and as you're a woman and you kind of feel less valuable, if you don't get that validation all the time, like you start feeling like I'm worthless. Like, you walk in the elevator and just slams the door and for you, no one holds the door for you anymore. It just doesn't exist. And so to go somewhere where I can have the floor guy bring me something, my plumber shows up with my favorite cheeses. People know I'm coming and they're like, oh, what can we bring to your house? And my neighbors throw a party for me when I arrive. You know what I mean? It's the environment that I need. It's about being around people you connect to and taking the time to actually find out you connect with someone, which is something I think we've lost. It's probably absolutely way longer an explanation than you think.
No, I love that though. I love it because I think that sometimes, like you said, we forget when we're in that hustle and bustle of life, especially here in the US, we forget how important it is to like take a step back and get to know people. And even if you don't know them, it's just common courtesy, kindness goes along with. And like you said about the plumber, I think that we've gone away from that. Like just taking a minute to get to know someone is incredible. It'll change their day. It'll change your day. It's beautiful. That's me.
I'm going to tell you a funny story. The guy comes out to, I have oil that heats the house, and he drops off all the oil.
Gosh.
$14,000. It was some big number, but you buy it you have it for like 2 years. It's some big number. And I didn't think about that. I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know how I was going to pay. And a woman who else with our house, Michelle, was there. Michelle was like, and I'm like, and so I realized I had to ask him, French, do you like coffee? And he sat there and he had coffee. And he said, well, what are we going to do about this thing? Like, well, I'm going to pay you. Pay you right over the coffee. He's like, well, you'll pay me when you. And he walks out, and it was like such a weird response.
Which is not of course,
because he connected with you, and he knew what he's going to pay him. It's like they don't write credit checks. They meet you, they decide, okay, I trust you.
You're going to give me my money.
Yeah.
Because then it's not about the money, right? It's not about that just like transaction. It's about, hey, this is a long-term relationship that you can have with this person. And he's the guy you can sit down and have a cup of coffee. The person that brings you oil. I love that. I love that your house is being warmed with oil also. So that's amazing. All right. I want to finish off just one moment for you to connect with the audience and just share if you could give some advice, knowing where you are right now in your life. If you could give one just like amazing opportunity for someone to really like hear you, what would you say the most important lesson that you've gotten around slowing down with intention would be in this moment?
Yeah, I remember I was really stressed about something with my kids when they were younger. And it was like, where are they going to go to school? Which is such a big stressful. And I was sitting next to this parent, and they gave me the best advice. And I have the two greatest kids now because this is the one piece of advice I listened to. Where they said to me, just slow down. Whatever decision you're making is the right decision for now. And we think the decision that we're making is the decision that's going to move forward. And if it doesn't work out, you're in a different place, at a different viewpoint, you can make a different decision. And so people don't want to decide because they either have some long-term thing they're planning for that may not even happen, and it makes them so stressed so they can't slow down because they're like, I made a decision now, I got to get to this. Or they become paralyzed and have anxiety because they don't think their life is moving in the right direction. You can slow down, take a breath, and take a step from here to here forward and this one. That's the other back decision.
We love having dogs on the show, but I'm going to say like thank you for that advice as someone who is through this moment. I know we're going through this moment right now. Come here on camera, buddy. No, I'm playing with my toy. I love it. Going through this moment right now with my son, like I remember advice, so much wonderful advice that you've given me about parenting, and especially when it comes to Benjamin, boys.
that are difficult.
But it was exactly that. Is to just be in the moment, and I have to remind myself so many times to just be in this moment with him as a parent, and nothing is forever.
No decision is permanent, and we put all that anxiety and pressure on ourselves and other people. And how we parent is very much a reflection of our fear. So we have to, that's all it is.
That's so.
And so we have to really think about what we're afraid about. So we just have to, and we're afraid of just going off the edge. But that's okay. We can make a step, and then we can have a clear view of what the next step should be. Like, it's not one thing or another. It's really hard to be present and enjoy life in the moment, but we have no other choice.
Right.
Time is time. We can't speed it up.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, everyone, I just want to say again, the amazing Deborah Johnson, thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for having me in your house.
So, yes, I was lucky too. I'm happy to come and make an egg with you whenever you like. And now you get to eat my food. So
absolutely. We're going to eat our food. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will see you next time on how to cook an egg and talk about life while doing it. Thanks for hanging out with me in my kitchen today. Remember, food is love, and life's better when we share it together. If this spoke to you, send it to a friend, and I'll see you in next week's episode.